Tonight, under a silver autumn moon, the fairies gather in a secret pumpkin sanctuary where lanterns breathe gold, moss cradles, tired hearts, and dreams bloom like warm candlelight. Close your eyes and step into the hush. Welcome, wandering dreamer. You've traveled far today, but here, in this gentle corner of autumn, nothing is urgent and nothing is loud. Let the wind soften your thoughts. Let the moonlight calm your breath and allow your spirit to rest among the fairies of the pumpkin patch. Tonight, you are safe. Tonight, you are held. Breathe in, breathe out, and follow the quiet glow. The evening comes on like a shawl, soft, silver, quiet. It slips across the countryside and gathers every warm thing into its fold. The barns settled low in the earth, the thin creek whispering over stones, the rows of pumpkins breathing their faint, sweet scent. The sky is a pale cauldron of dusk, stirred by a slow wind. The light goes amber, then honey, then the tender color of a candle about to be blown out. Everything hushes, everything listens. Above the fields, the first star opens its eye. It is shy and steady, a small silver bell hung in the blue. The others follow, one by one, until the firmament is a gentle constellation of quiet watchers. The moon rises last, low and patient, round as a lantern cradled in careful hands. She pours her light over the patch, over the fences brushed with lichen, over the tall grasses that lean and sigh, over the pumpkins, each one ringed with a soft halo, as though the night herself were blessing them. Along the hedgerow, the autumn fairies arrive, not with a clamor, not with a glittering parade, but with the modest calm of dew forming on a leaf. They are present the way breath is present, a coolness, a shiver, a soft change in the air. Their wings hold the color of distant rain, of faded petals, of the pale interior of a shell. They move as if the wind is inside them. They move as if the moon has taught them how to be gentle. All day they have worked in silence. They have walked the orchard rows and stroked the pears from green to gold. They have tipped the maple leaves toward flame, then cooled the edges with a breath of brown. They have listened to gourds for the little knock that means ripeness. They have wrapped vines in sleep and told the soil softly to rest. It is a holy labor. It is not urgent. It is not loud. The world becomes itself under their hands, and then it sleeps better. Now the time for doing passes into the time for being. The fairies hover above the largest pumpkin, a broad-bellied keeper of warmth, a round cathedral of orange. The rind gleams where the moon slides over it. The stem is thick, curved, faithful. Around it, the patch glows like banked embers, and the ground sighs with a long, slow letting go. The fairies circle once, twice, 3 times, their wings murmuring a soft silver hush. They listen for the heart of the pumpkin. They hear it, deep and even, like a drum felt more than heard. "Here," says one, barely speaking more a warm exhale than a word. The others nod, and you might believe that nod could change the tide, could calm a herd, could soften an old ache. They lower themselves to the rind, press their palms to the gentle curve, and the pumpkin, which has known rain and sun and warm hands and soil, opens, not like a door, not like a wound. It opens like a blossom at night, petal by petal into light. Within is a hollow as round as the moon. The air is warm and smells of toasted seeds, of faint cinnamon, of clean earth just turned. Along the inner walls run pale threads like silver veins, soft lines made by time and sweetness. The fairies step inside as one would step into a sanctuary, heads lowered, breath deep, hearts unlatched. The world outside keeps spinning. The creek keeps telling its long story. Somewhere, a barn owl writes a white line across the dark. But within the pumpkin's gentle chamber, everything pauses, everything brightens, everything is kindly held. Moonlight pools through the opening and slides down the curved interior like milk poured from a jug. It gathers in a quiet ring at the base, a shallow lake of silver. The fairies dip their fingertips and touch a little of that light to their wrists, their throats, their eyelids. A witchy whisper rises, not a spell to bind or compel, only a blessing that loosens the day. Leave the work, leave the worry, leave the weather, leave the stories that grew too tight. Keep only what is gentle, keep only what is soft, keep only what is peaceful and true. They begin their small preparations with patient care, because care is a form of rest too. A few step out to the mossy edge of the patch, where the stones keep coolness tucked beneath. They lift blankets of moss, delicate and velvety, and carry them in with both hands, as if the green itself were a sleeping child. Each bed is spread in a circle, head to the center, feet to the rind, so that no one's breath will be far from another's breath. They cross the beds with fine threads, silver strands teased from dew, not to bind, but to connect thin lines of comfort and companionship, a quiet web of being together. Another pair tends the firefly lanterns. They do not trap the lights, they invite them. Palms lifted, breath steady, they hum a tone both simple and old. The fireflies answer, drifting in with their golden pulse. Tiny woven baskets of cobweb and dry grass are hung at intervals along the inner curve, and the fireflies nest there of their own longing, breathing gold in a slow rhythm. The glow is low, the glow is kind. It blushes against the pumpkin's walls and paints the fairies' cheeks with a soft autumn warmth. Shadows arrive and settle like friendly cats at their feet. The breeze finds its way in, thread by thread, bringing the scent of fallen leaves, the faint bite of apples, the moss's green-brown song. It slides along the beds and smooths the silver threads with a careful thumb. Outside, grasses hush and bow. Seeds loosen and travel. The creek rolls its pebble-quiet lullaby under the little stone bridge. The moon listens with them, wide and calm, and the stars tilt their small silver faces toward the opening. The fairies move slower now, their wings quiet, their shoulders drop. The last of the day's color work drains. Like light fading from a window, they begin to speak, though speak is perhaps too large a word. Their words are little leaves that fall and rest where they land. This mapled blush, one murmurs, how kindly it took. The pears, says another, like bells ready to ring. The vines, offers a third, let go with a sigh, gentle, soft, peaceful, the language of the finished and the forgiven. They share a handful of seeds warmed in a thin pan held above a breath of lantern light. The shells crack with the mildest sound. Flavor opens and rests on the tongue. Toasted, not sweet, clean. They take the smallest sips of creek water, cool and silver, from a bowl pleated out of a tulip leaf. Their throats ease, their chests ease. Their thoughts turn from lines to circles, from ladders to lakes. One fairy, older than the rest by a few late ring years, draws a line in the light pooled at their feet. It is a circle, wide and unbroken. Here, she whispers, witchy soft, is where we leave the hard names. Let them sleep. She smooths the circle closed and presses it with her palm as you might press a letter to seal it. Their faces glow like lantern fruit. Their eyes pour out the day, and what remains is silver and still. They lift their hands together. A hush blooms. Outside, a fox pads by without hunger. A bat scribbles a brief poem in the air and then folds it into the night. The owls trade soft questions with the hedges. Distance becomes close. Time becomes kind. The world, which can be sharp, is rounded here to a gentle, soft edge. Rest, says the moon through the opening. Not in words, but in light. Rest, answers the moss through the beds. Not in words, but in green. Rest, reply their own hearts, quiet and faithful. The fairies listen to the wind lay down its long, even breaths across the fields. They hear the creek count the stones. They hear the pumpkins hum in low contentment. They hear themselves becoming small and safe inside the night. They do not close the pumpkin yet. They leave it open to the calm, to the silver, to the quiet. The lanterns breathe, the shadows purr. The moss remembers the forest it grew in and shares that memory, cool and deep. A leaf looses itself and drifts through the opening, spinning, then comes to rest on the nearest bed like a warm hand over a brow. This is the beginning. The older fairy breathes, the witch in her voice as gentle as smoke. This is the soft door. We step through only to be held. Heads bow, fingers weave, wings fold. A small smile ripples around the circle like a ring on water. The pumpkin waits. The night leans closer. And in the amber fields under the silver moon, the fairies gather themselves into stillness, ready for the quiet work of sleep, ready for the soft labor of dreams. The moon keeps her lantern low. The night listens. The pumpkin waits. Inside the round and glowing chamber, the fairies begin their tender craft. All motion slow, all touch soft, all breath even. The air is warm and spiced, the rind amber and kind, the silver of the moon traveling along the inner curve like water that remembers light. This is the hour of lanterns. This is the hour of small, holy work. They speak little. They hum what the moss already knows. Hands open, palms rise. A witchy whisper lifts, not sharper than silk, not stronger than dew. It curls along the ribs of the pumpkin, tucks itself into the pale veins, and comes back softer, gentler, quieter than it left. The whisper is a blessing for tools, for patience, for peace. The whisper is a ribbon tied around the moment so it will not fray. From the shadowed edge of the chamber, where the gold is faint and the silver is deep, one fairy brings a skein of cobweb silk gathered at dawn from hedgerows and fence posts. It shines like moon thread. It slips across her fingers like a stream in winter. Another carries dried grass blades, narrow and strong, crinkled into fine cords by time. A third brings seed shells, thin and translucent, pearly as the inside of a shell, light as size. All is simple, all is near, all is enough. They sit in a small crescent, knees nearly touching, wings folded to keep the air untroubled. The oldest among them draws a circle with the tip of a wing on the pumpkin floor, small and neat, a silver boundary where they will weave only what is kind. We work within the circle, she breathes, an autumn charm with no edge, so that the work returns to us gentle. The circle holds, the night approves. A soft hush settles like a shawl over shoulders. The weaving begins. Fingers find their rhythm. Cobweb silk marries dried grass, the way moonlight marries still water. Loops form, knots bloom. Little handles take shape, each no larger than a thumb's curve, each strong enough to bear a cup of glow. They do not hurry. Haste is a wind that scatters light. The fairies sew the minutes together with patience, with breath, with quiet, until the minutes become a soft garment, and the garment is a lantern. Now they invite the fireflies, not with a trap, not with a jar, with a tone, low, warm, silver beneath the sound. The hum travels out of the pumpkin mouth and into the night like smoke that remembers flowers. In the field, a spark opens, then another, then a drifting cluster, rising and falling with the long breath of the grass. The fireflies wander forward, not pulled, not pushed. They arrive with their gold in their bellies and their peace in their wings. Come if you wish, the fairies murmur, palms lifted like bowls. Glow if you please, rest if you need. Gold beads the air. Tiny stars change their address. They drift through the opening and circle the weaving place with shy delight. Their light a calm pulse, in and out, in and out. The pulse of sleep, the pulse of tide. The fairies smile, and the smile deepens the glow. The lantern baskets are small cradles, cobweb thread along the rim, a loop for hanging here, a soft seat there, lined with the inner feather of thistledown. The fireflies settle one by one, tucking their light beneath themselves like birds drawing their heads into their feathers. The lanterns breathe, little hearts of gold in a round room of amber, not bright, never bright, a hush of brightness, a kindness of brightness, a dream-sized light. They hang the first lantern on a rib of the pumpkin, where the inner curve makes a natural hook. The light slips across the rind and pools gently, making no corners, leaving no hard edges. The second lantern goes opposite to balance the hush. The third finds its place between. Soon a constellation forms gold points, breathing in patient rhythm, a soft map that guides the body towards stillness. The fairies step back and watch. They breathe in, they breathe out. The lanterns follow, the pumpkin follows, the night follows. The smell of warmth rises, a whisper of roasted seeds, a memory of honey, a trace of cinnamon that seems to have drifted in from some old kitchen. It soothes the tongue, it softens the shoulders, it reminds the heart that the world has known many peaceful evenings and will know many more. Outside, the wind turns the pages of a dry leaf book very slowly. The creek writes silver words in the dark, and each word is rest. One fairy, slender, soft-voiced, takes a length of dew thread and dips it through a dish of moonlight that is pooled on the floor. She draws it up, and the thread carries that pale shine as if it were milk. With careful hands, she runs the luminant thread along the lantern loops, so each handle remembers the silver touch. The light does not dazzle, it blesses. It names each lantern safe. It names each lantern kind. They test the gentleness of the glow. One fairy closes her eyes and counts the breath between pulses. Another listens for the quiet between heartbeats. A third watches the shadow of her own hand soften until it is only a suggestion on the rind. "Good," the oldest says, moon sweet. "This is sleep light. This is dream light." They adjust one basket a finger's width lower. They lift another so that the glow does not collect too heavily in one place. They make the room even. They make the room fair. The lanterns begin to teach the air a slower rhythm. Inhale, exhale. The light follows. The moss follows. The fairies follow. The circle grows smoother, rounder, truer. "Let what is sharp grow round," one whispers. "Let what is heavy grow light." The words are not commands, they are invitations. The night accepts, and so do the small aches that tried to live in their shoulders. The aches forget their names and become warmth. From the pumpkin mouth, a soft strand of fog wanders in, a visitor from the low field. It drapes itself along the floor and dissolves in the lantern glow until it is only the idea of mist. The memory of a lake at dawn. A cricket makes a quiet stitch in the silence and then stops, content with one thread. An owl writes a single punctuation mark in the sky. The lanterns go on breathing, gentle, soft, peaceful. The fairies lay out the last of the baskets and count them with their fingertips, not their eyes. Counting by touch slows the mind. Counting by touch loosens it from the hours. They arrive at the quiet number that feels complete. No more, no less. Enough. Enough is a spell that opens sleep. Enough is a small golden door. They step outside to look at the work through the open mouth of the pumpkin. The field gazes back, pleased. The glow is subtle from out here, as if the earth has learned to blush. A thin ring of light kisses the edge of the opening. Moths hover and then drift away, soothed by the easy warmth. The moon lowers herself another breath. She approves. She adds a silver thread across the threshold, the gentlest beam, the softest seam. Returning inside, the fairies take a final round. Hands pause beneath each lantern. Palms feel the weight of glow. Ears find the hush within the hush. Where a basket rests too high, they breathe it lower. Where a beam gathers too eagerly, they comb it with their fingers until it loosens and falls. A soft veil against the rind. They are not making light. They are making rest. Bless the glow. murmurs the oldest, and they all answer, voices weaving. Bless the glow, they say, that it may be small and sure. Bless the glow, that it may be soft and slow. Bless the glow, that it may bring quiet to wings and warmth to breath, and silver to dreams. The lanterns answer by dimming a whisper, then blooming a whisper, as if nodding, as if smiling. They sit again in the crescent. No task remains but gratitude. Gratitude is the last stitch in any good weaving. They place their open hands on the pumpkin floor and let thankfulness pass through like clear water through moss. Thank you for the silk. Thank you for the grass. Thank you for the seeds. Thank you for the night that carries us. Thank you for the glow that does not need to be bright to be beautiful. Thank you for enough. One fairy brushes the nearest lantern with the back of a knuckle. Not a touch, hardly more than a thought. The gold wavers, then steadies. The room answers with a deepening quiet. They feel the hush settle into their ribs, into the small spaces behind their eyes, into the folds of their wings. The lanterns do not ask for attention. They give it. They tend every corner with their gentle breathing, as if light could be a caretaker, as if illumination could tuck a blanket. The circle on the floor still holds, faint and faithful. The fairies draw it wider with a glance. The lanterns are within. The beds are within. Their slow hearts are within. The outside world is not banished. It is simply softened at the edges, welcomed when it arrives as wind, as cricket, as owl, as quiet star. The circle does not close the world out. It gathers the world in and smooths it until it is safe to hold. When the last lantern finds its calm, the fairies rise, but only a little. Their bodies know that standing fully would stir the air too much. They move like sleep moving through a room. They move like a tide turning under a silver moon. The oldest inclines her head, and the small procession passes beneath the breathing light. The glow rests upon their hair, their shoulders, the curve of each wing. A gold that feels like warm tea, a gold that feels like a friend's hand. They stop at the center to listen. The lanterns have a voice, if one can call it that. A hush within a hush, a velvet thread of brightness. It says, breathe. It says, soften. It says, be here, in this chamber of amber and silver, in this night that asks nothing. The fairies obey gladly, in, out, gentle, soft, peaceful. Work is over, the oldest whispers, witchy and sweet. The light will keep the room kind. The words hang like little bells, then fade into the rind. The lanterns answer with their golden pulse, the fireflies steady as the quiet beat of a sleeping field. The fairies exchange a look that is not quite a smile, not quite a yawn, something softer than both. They turn toward the moss beds, toward the silver threads, toward the circle that waits to hold their dreams. The lanterns breathe on. The night leans closer. The pumpkin sighs, deep and low, content as earth after rain. And with their gentle work complete, the fairies let the hush carry them to the next soft task, the tender arranging of rest, the sweet preparing of sleep, under gold that breathes and silver that listens, under the witchy whisper of a room that loves them. The The lanterns breathe their small gold. The moon strokes the rind with silver. The chamber waits, warm as a held cup. The fairies turn from light to rest, from glow to green, from making to arranging. This is the hour of beds. This is the hour of moss and dew. They step to the threshold, where the night leans in and the field exhales. The air is cool on the mouth, sweet with hay, edged with leaf and apple. Between the pumpkin vines, stones keep quiet pools of shade. The shade has gathered moss, the way a gentle palm gathers water, velvet over granite, green over gray, memory over bone. The fairies kneel, not to pluck, not to scrape, to listen. Moss has a hum, soft, steady, older than seed. It sings of fog and slow rain, of patient roots and sleeping beetles. The fairies lower their faces until breath and hum mingle. If you come, they murmur, witch soft, we will carry you level. We will lay you down where light is gentle and air is kind. The moss loosens its hold without harm. It lifts in whole blankets, supple and calm, as if rising from a nap. They gather it with both hands, palms flat, thumbs tucked, and bear it inward as if moving a dreaming child. Inside the pumpkin, the floor is warm, round, welcoming. The lanterns hush and watch. The fairies begin with the circle, always the circle. Beds will face the heart, feet to rind, crowns to center, so each sleeper can feel another sleeper's breath near their own, so no one travels far to find a hand. The circle is a moon repeated in green. It steadies the room. It steadies the chest. They lay the first blanket of moss. It unfurls like a slow wave across sand. The ribbing of the pumpkin gives it gentle hills and valleys, a relief map of comfort. Fingers pat, palms smooth, wrists level. They test with the backs of their knuckles. Too warm. A pause. The air cools it, just right. The second blanket meets the first with no seam. The fibers kiss, and remember they were once a single forest floor. The third finds the curve where spine meets hip. The fourth is long enough for wings. Breath becomes measure. In, lay, out, smooth. In, lay, out, smooth. The room's pulse keeps time with the lantern's gold. Outside, the wind moves one field length east, then west, then slow again. The creek braids its song with cricket thread. A moth prints a soft crescent on the threshold and is gone. Nothing presses, nothing pulls. The world is busy being kind. One fairy, quiet, dew-skilled, draws a slender vial from a pocket sewn into leaf. Inside, the dew lies like a captured dawn, silver stretched thin. She tilts, and the dew becomes thread, a drawn-out gleam, supple as hair, cool as shade. Another fairy holds out a small hoop woven of vine skin. The dew thread passes through, keeps its shine, takes no knot that would bite. They work without tugging. They work without haste. The thread goes where breath shows it, from one moss bed to the next, a gentle line that says, together. The silver stitching is not a tether. It is a remembrance. If one turns in sleep, the thread whispers to the neighbor bed, and the neighbor answers with warmth. If one sighs, The sigh travels lightly along the gleam, and the circle shifts a fraction to receive it. The fairies lay 3 threads around the beds, one at brow height, one at heart, one at heel. They are not fences. They are currents, quiet tides that carry comfort from bed to bed. They pause and let hands rest in the moss. Palms open. The green cools their skin. The green offers a forest dream, leaves stacked with rain, mushrooms shining like small moons, roots moving slowly like thought. The fairies smile with their eyes, shoulders loosen, wings soften at the edges. Many small knots untie themselves without anyone asking. A gentle scent rises, toasted seed, faint cinnamon, a ribbon of clove and orange. It threads through the chamber and nestles in the moss, as if the beds are teacups and scent is a warm brew. The air turns generous. It invites the lungs to take a little more and let a little more go. Breath deepens, pulse slows. The lanterns dim a whisper, then bloom a whisper, matching the new rhythm. Now the measuring. A bed for the smallest among them, who curls like a comma. A bed for the tallest, who sleeps long and still. A bed for the one who dreams of rivers and needs a gentle slope, as if the body were a leaf afloat. A bed for the one who dreams of wheat and prefers a little weight at the feet. Moss can do all of this. Moss understands posture and memory, and the way a wing lies when the heart is unafraid. They tuck thin pads of sheep sorrel leaves beneath the shoulder places. They slip a braided wisp of dried sweetgrass at the nape for fragrance and luck. They smooth the green into a crescent at each pillow place, so that the head will rest as if in a moon cradle. They do not hurry. Every press of fingers is a blessing. Every adjustment is a kindness. They say the small words that bless, work well done. Easy, soft, peaceful. The words take root. The beds agree. One fairy brings in a bowl woven of cattail. In it, a handful of seeds warmed until they are brown and gold and glossy. She places the bowl near the circle's center, not to feast, only to let the fragrance continue its quiet labor. The warmth is contentment made visible. The scent is safety made airy. The fairies' mouths remember sweetness and relax. They are no longer ready to speak quickly. They are ready to say very little, very slow. Another carries a cup of creek water, cold and clear and moon-touched. She dips 2 fingertips and draws a ring on the floor around the circle of beds. The ring is thin, bright, evaporating even as it is drawn, but the cool remains. It keeps the center fresh as a breath of night. It says, "Here is stillness." It says, "Let dreams arrive as snowflakes arrive, silent, soft, bright." They test a bed. One fairy lies down, wings folded loosely, palms up. The moss takes her weight without bottoming. It lifts her to the precise height where breath meets light. She turns her head. The pillow crescent receives the cheek. A strand of hair catches a dew thread and does not snag. The silver line hums, and a neighbor bed hums back. The fairy exhales a long ribbon of air, the kind that comes only when the body is sure. "Yes," she says. "Yes, yes." The fairies adjust a curve here, a slope there. They slip a thin disc of peeled birch under one hip point. They fern a spread of maidenhair along an ankle place. They notch a tiny hollow for an ear. They level a ridge with the back of a nail, and then smooth the mark with the pad of a thumb until no one could tell anything was ever amiss. This is craft. This is care. This is the kind of work that never makes a sound, but undoes 1,000 old noises inside the heart. A hush thicker than silence gathers silence layered with acceptance, silence braided with sweetness, silence that knows your name and will hold it safe while you sleep. The lanterns keep their golden breathing. The moon pours silver on the dew thread, and the thread glows like a vein of light in green stone. Every bed looks like a small island on a silver lake. Together, they look like a necklace laid around a warm throat. The chamber is a locket. The night is the chain. Outside, the wind remembers a lullaby and sings it across the patch. Long note, soft pause. Long note, soft pause. Pumpkins answer with low, content hums, a choir of sleeping bells. The hedges make no objection. The owls keep gentle counsel. The field lies open, a page without a thorn in it. The world has decided to be soft for a while. The world has chosen ease. The fairies gather at the center and regard their work. They do not applaud. They do not praise. They bow their heads a little and let gratitude rise like steam. Thank you, moss. Thank you, dew. Thank you, thread. Thank you, hands. Thank you, breath. The words are almost nothing. The words are everything. The beds glow not with light, but with welcome. The oldest among them lifts a small sprig of rosemary and touches each bed with it, brushing once at the head, once at the heart, once at the feet. Remember, she whispers, that you are safe. Remember that you are held. Remember that the night is a friend. The sprig is green. The scent is clean. The memory is immediate. Even the lanterns seem to lean in closer, gold becoming gold with care. They let their wings taste the air. The wingtips stir the smallest breeze. The breeze travels along the silver threads and wakes no dust. It carries a message. Soften. The message rounds the corners of thought. The message settles behind the eyes, where day usually hides its last bright worries. The worries go quiet, as if shown a bed of their own. They lie down and sleep. They will not be missed. Now the last task. Each bed receives a single fallen leaf, chosen for its calm color and unbroken shape. Not red, not flame, a quiet yellow, a warm brown, a green asleep. The leaf is placed where a hand might reach without thinking, at the edge of the pillow, or near the fold of a blanket, or by the curve of a wing. If a dream needs an anchor, the hand will find the leaf. If a heart needs a sign, the eye will see the leaf and know. This is autumn, and autumn is the season of gentle endings and soft beginnings. The fairies step back until their shoulders touch rind. The circle of beds holds the room like a spell that is learned not to bind. The dew threads give a last bright sigh and go almost invisible, the way a river goes invisible at night, while still moving faithfully to the sea. The moss looks deeper, thicker, greener. The chamber looks more itself. Home, someone says, barely sound. The word rolls once around the circle and comes back warmer. Home, they agree. Wings fold tighter, throats loosen. Eyes grow heavy at the edges, silvered by lantern light. The pumpkin's heart is steady. The moon's hand is steady. The fairies feel the difference between a place to sleep and a place that sleeps with you. They have made the second. They have made a companion for rest. They close the vial of dew, tie the thread, lay the hoop aside. They set the rosemary down, a small green star, and let it rest. The bowl of seeds cools. The scent remains. The ring of water at the center has vanished into air, but its coolness keeps whispering from the moss. The room is a lake of quiet, with 10 islands of softness. The current between them is kind. One by one, they drift to their chosen beds and touch them with their fingertips. A test, a greeting, a pledge. The beds answer with a rise and a settling. Like a breath asleep, the silver threads gleam once more and then sleep too. The fairies exhale a long autumn sigh that empties the day from bone and wing. A new hush enters, the hush that comes only when everything needed has arrived and nothing extra remains. The lanterns breathe gold. The moon lays silver. The moss remembers rain. The threads remember dawn. The chamber holds its circle, a soft wheel, a gentle halo, a round promise. The fairies are not yet sleeping, but sleep has crossed the threshold and set down its bag. Sleep has removed its shoes. Sleep has warmed its hands at the small, steady glow. It will stay. It will be kind, and in the pumpkin's hollow heart, the beds wait like open hands, gentle, soft, peaceful, dream-ready, silver-laced. When the fairies lie down, they will be cradled by earth and light at once. When their wings rest, they will hear only moss and lanterns and the moon's low blessing. When their eyes close, they will fall into a lake without depth and without fear, and they will not sink. They will float. The room has promised this. The night has promised this. The beds, the silver, the circle, each makes the promise again. Soon, they will surrender. For now, they stand a moment longer, held by what they have made and what has made them. Then, breath by breath, they turn toward the next soft chapter, toward whispers, toward memory without ache, toward stories that walk barefoot on moss and carry no weight, toward the friendly ghosts of old gardens, waiting in the lantern light, smiling. The lanterns breathe their small gold. The moss keeps its cool green. The silver threads lie quiet, glimmering like faint rivers around the circle of beds. The fairies draw closer, not yet lying down, not yet fully seated, hovering at the warm edge of rest, where words are soft and memory is gentle. This is the hour of stories. This is the hour of ghosts without fear. They do not brighten the room. They dim it a breath to let the past come forward, the way moths come slow, shy, harmless. The lanterns answer, gathering their gold into a hush of glow. The pumpkin's walls listen. The moon lowers one quiet inch. The night folds in, kind and close. Let the old gardens speak, murmurs the eldest, witchy and sweet. Let what is gone become soft. Let what is soft become blessing. Her voice leaves no ripple. It is a hand smoothing a coverlet, a small silver bell wrapped in wool. The fairies nod. Their wings settle like fallen leaves. Their eyes grow glossy with light. The first story is offered by the smallest fairy, the one who curls like a comma when she sleeps. She holds a leaf in both hands, a mild yellow oval, and stares through it as if it were glass that remembers sun. "I knew a garden behind a simple house," she whispers, "where the soil was poor and the wind was blunt. But an old woman sang to it each morning. She sang soft, she sang slow. Her voice was not pretty, it was patient. She never scolded the wind. She asked it to be gentle, and when it could not, she thanked it for trying." The fairies smile, silver at the corners. Nothing much grew, the small one continues, until a stray cat began to sleep beneath the pepper plants. He was gray and quiet and full of old aches. He carried peace like a warm stone. The garden borrowed his peace. The peppers thickened. The tomatoes remembered sweetness. The woman laughed, not loud, not sharp like twine slipping free. The tiny fairy lowers the leaf. When the woman died, the cat did not leave. He slept beneath the pepper plants that autumn, and after the frost, he slept on the sun-warmed path. He was not waiting, he was staying. He was a ghost until he was only a memory, and then he was a blessing that grew every time someone watered anything with a soft hand. She pauses. The lanterns breathe once, slow, as if to say amen. Silence arrives and makes a little room for itself, a cushion between stories. It smells of dry clover and clean straw. It feels like a forehead touched by cool fingers. The fairies lean into it without notice, then let it pass. The next to speak is the soft-voiced dew-worker. She holds a cattail bowl, empty now, but damp with the silver ring she drew earlier. "I tended the well behind the great lilac hedge," she murmurs, where water rose like a clear thought. The stones were old, and the rope was kind. The bucket knew the way without help. I watched the well all spring, and in late May the lilac bloomed so heavily that its scent came down the wall like a gentle rain. She closes her eyes. A young mother fetched water then. She was tired in the bones. The baby in her arms slept and woke and slept and woke, as babies do. The mother never hurried. She said thank you to the rope for holding. Thank you to the stones for leaning. Thank you to the water for remembering sky. One morning, she stood so long with her eyes closed that the well hummed back to her. A soft silver sound. Here is the cool you need. Here is the quiet you need. Here is the clean you need. The dew worker's voice is barely sound. For many years after she moved away, the lilac kept blooming with that same hush. If you leaned close, your breath would slow. If you cupped the blossoms, your thoughts would settle like silt. The well's ghost was not a face or a figure. It was a coolness that stayed to bless every thirsty thing. A thread of wind slips through the opening and circles the beds. One ring, then rest. The moss drinks it. The silver threads carry it around the circle like a ladle dipping light. The hush deepens. The ghosts are only memories now, and the memories are only kindness, taking the shape of air. The oldest fairy lifts the rosemary sprig and speaks to it rather than to them. I remember a greenhouse with cracked panes, she says, laughing softly, and ivy too bold for its own good. A timid gardener worked there. He believed he was clumsy. He believed every plant he touched would choose another hand. But he loved the fog that formed inside on cold mornings. He loved how breath made the glass bloom and fade. He loved setting wooden labels with neat, hopeful names. Larkspur, night-scented stalk, moonflower. She taps the sprig 3 times against her palm, gentle as rain. He had a habit, when a plant withered, he would write its name a second time on the same label, a little smaller, and tuck the stick back in the soil, as if to say, "Come when you can, no hurry, no failing." Her eyes brighten with wickless light. He grew old and left the greenhouse. The panes kept cracking. The ivy kept insisting. But every spring, fog bloomed on the glass, and inside the fog, you could read small names written again and again, patient as tide, soft as forgiveness. That was the greenhouse's ghost. Second chances, written in steam. She lays the rosemary on the floor, and for a moment, the chamber smells like green cupboards and clean knives. Silence again, deeper now. The lanterns dim to a low heartbeat. The moon breathes slow. The owls trade one soft note with the hedges and settle. The night grows round, rounder, roundest. A tall fairy river dreaming speaks next, her voice low as water under ice. In the valley, she says, there was an orchard planted too close together, limb over limb, shadow over shadow, apples the color of old coins, pears with freckles like small constellations. It should have failed. It should have starved itself. The farmer was gone. The fences sagged. But a creek ran down one edge and told the trees stories every dusk. She lets the words fall seldom. A girl used to sit on the fence and read out loud, not to be heard, only to feel her mouth make the names of things. She stayed through one early winter when the creek crusted and the orchard clicked with hard cold. She read the seed catalogs as if they were saints' lives. Baldwin, she said, Gravenstein, Seckel. The trees grew quiet as churches. When spring came shabby and late, the orchard bloomed as if the names had fed it. Each blossom a silver coin in moonlight, each petal the smallest page. Her face softens. The orchard's ghost was the echo of those names. You could hear them in the blossoms if you pressed your ear to them, as if the petals were seashells, saving a tide of syllables. No fear, no warning, only catalog songs. A pause arrives, wide and transparent, like a window someone has just cleaned. Through it, the fairies can see the field, low and hushed, pumpkins deep in their own dreams. A fox passes without hunger. The stars hang like pearls in a bowl of milk. The world is done speaking for the moment. Then a younger fairy, shy and bright-eyed, raises a hand as if asking to enter a pool. "I have a very small ghost," she whispers. A ghost that fits under a thumbnail. She opens her palm. In it lies a single poppy seed, dark and patient. A child once planted a circle of poppies around a tree stump. She wanted a fairy ring. When nothing came up that year, she did not cry. She said, "Perhaps they are listening for a softer footstep." The second year, a few shaggy buds. The third year, a circle like a low red sun. Every year after, Poppies bent around that stump as if rounding a shoulder. When the child grew and went away, the poppies kept rising, even when the field went to thistle and the fence lay down. The ghost was determination made, gentle, no push, no demand. Only the quiet returning of red every June, like a heartbeat remembering itself. They breathe together, in, out, gentle, soft, peaceful. The ghost stories are not warnings. They are lullabies, braided from gardens that loved and were loved in return. The fairies feel the day loosen another notch inside their ribs. The threads between beds pick up the feeling and carry it like a slow tide around the circle. Let the forgotten be forgiven, the eldest says, scarcely more than breath. Let the broken be blessed. Let the empty be ready. She takes up the rosemary and makes a patient figure 8 in the air, tracing a soft path between past and present. The lanterns answer with a gold nod, and the pumpkin's walls seem to lean inward, listening with their whole round selves. One more story wants to be told. It comes from the fairies together, in a murmur layered and low. The ghost of a courtyard vine that never ripened, a blossom that folded too soon, a bench that held the shape of 1,000 resting backs. The vine leaves were silver on their undersides and liked to tremble when there was no wind. People believed the vine was shy. It was not shy, it was attentive. It trembled at footsteps it loved. It trembled when someone set down a heavy thought. It trembled when a hand failed to find another hand and decided to try again. The bench kept the warmth of those who sat, the way stone remembers sun and returns it slowly in evening. Many winters later, when the courtyard was rubble and the vine a rumor, a single warmth rose from the ground on mild nights and pressed itself against strangers' spines as they paused there, wondering why the air felt kind. The ghost was not a haunting. It was hospitality without a house. The fairies bow their heads. The room feels rounder. The hush feels heavier. But in the way quilts are heavy, welcome weight, kind weight. In the lanterns, the fireflies breathe their gold in a tender pattern. 2 slow pulses, a long rest. 2 slow pulses, a long rest. The pattern enters the fairies' wrists, then their lungs. It is the rhythm of being allowed to stop. Thank you, the eldest whispers to the ghosts, to the memories, to the gardens that gave and give and go on giving. The word moves like a soft hand across a brow. The air listens and keeps the word safe, tucking it among the moss and silver threads, where it will not be lost, even if sleep comes mid-sentence. They do not close the circle. They do not end the hour. They let the stories thin into a gentle silence, like steam cooling on glass. In that quiet, the room grows warmer by a thought, sweeter by a breath. The fairies look at one another with that drowsy tenderness that needs no language. The past has been walked without waking old thorns. The old gardens have been visited without taking, without ache. Everything is lighter, everything is nearer. A leaf loosens at the opening and sails down on no particular mission. It lands near the bowl that once held warm seeds. The leaf is brown as tea and shaped like a small ear. The fairies smile, then do not, because smiling is work, and they have done enough. The leaf listens for them. It will keep listening when they sleep. Rest your voices, says the eldest. keep only the kind threads. Her words are a door swung inward. The chamber, obedient and glad, becomes a little more room for sleep to enter. Outside, the field exhales. The creek turns one stone and decides not to speak of it. The owls write the night's last small sentence and set down their pens. The fairies, silver at the edges now, with soft fatigue, draw their moss blankets closer to their knees. Not yet the sweetness, not yet the last laughter. That will come, warm and quiet, like spice in the next part of the night. For now, they lean back. Let ghosts dissolve into blessing. Let blessing dissolve into breath. The lanterns keep their gold. The moon keeps her silver. The stories keep their soft work, making pillows of the past, gentle, soft, peaceful. The old gardens sleep. The fairies nearly do. The room holds them, kind and round, ready for sweetness, ready for dream. The stories settle like petals. The lanterns breathe their small gold. The moss holds its cool green. Silver threads rest between the beds like quiet rivers that have learned the way to the sea. The fairies lean back from memory and turn with warm, drowsy hands toward sweetness. This is the hour of gentle treats. This is the hour of candied acorns and quiet laughter. A shallow pan appears, reed-handled and patient. It is warmed by the lantern's hush, not by flame, not by haste, only by the gold that breathes from the fireflies' bellies. A small pouch opens. Inside, acorns the color of old honey and polished walnut roll like moons in miniature. Their caps sit nearby, neat and proud, as if each were a tiny crown kept aside while the feast is made. The air shifts. Sugar glows in the breath between glow and moss. A ribbon of spice unwinds cinnamon first, then a suggestion of clove, then the soft whisper of orange peel remembered from far kitchens. They work with unhurried hands. A thread of creek water wets the pan. A pinch of sugar follows, not clattering, only landing, like faint snow in lantern light. The sugar melts into a clear, silver pool. Another fairy tips a drop of maple, and the syrup joins without argument. A small, amber yes. Acorns slide in and turn, slow as planets. The room grows sweeter. The night grows nearer. The moon lowers her lantern, another soft breath, and listens. They do not cook. They coax. The shells shine. The syrup thickens and gathers. A soft crackle speaks without sharpness. Each acorn is lifted, rolled once along a bed of finely crushed seed sugar, and set upon a leaf to cool. The coating brightens, not hard, only sure, like a promise that keeps, like a kindness that holds. Candied acorns line the leaf in a crescent of small stars. The fairies sit in crescent too, mirroring the sweet. The eldest breathes a witchy blessing, silver and low. Let these be sweetness without wakefulness. Let these be warmth without fire. Let these be small doors into peaceful dreams. The words do not cling to the air. They pass through, become flavor. The lanterns nod in gold. The moss deepens one shade, as if pleased. They eat slowly, as if tasting were a kind of listening. Teeth meet the thin shell, a quiet break. The syrup inside is soft and warm, not sticky, not insistent. It spreads across the tongue like autumn sun over stone, like caramel light sliding down the rind. Sweetness arrives, then settles. Nut follows, round and calm. There is a clean hush after the swallow, a delicate pause where breath becomes the only thought, gentle, soft, peaceful. Again, no one speaks first. Laughter comes first, small as a chiming spoon, then smaller, then sleepier yet. It isn't the laughter that lifts the chest or shakes the shoulders. It is the laughter that loosens a knot you hadn't known was there. It is a smile that remembers itself. It is comfort making a sound. The youngest fairy tries to hide her joy and fails by half. Sugar dust rests on her lip, a pale crescent of new moon. She touches it with the tip of her tongue and blinks as if blessed. "Oh," she whispers, as if speaking to the acorn, "you are very kind." The others glow with quiet mirth, then let the mirth drift away like seeds on a still day. Nothing must be held too tightly in this hour. Joy is not a bird to cage. Joy is a moth to guide, and then let go. Another fairy tests a cooled acorn cap with her fingertip. The cap fits the candied curve in a perfect, faithful way. She crowns it, smiling, and passes it along. Each fairy receives a small, sugared crown and places it back on the leaf, pleased to see a circle made of small, completed things. The leaf looks like a tiny royal tray. The tray looks like a moon, offering its own phases to soft mouths and quieter thoughts. A second pan waits, not for heat, but for scent. A ribbon of orange peel curls there, thin as a spell line. It steams in the lantern warmth and tells a story of distant groves, winter mornings, and hands that know how to peel without break. The story is not spoken, it is breathed. It lifts the mind and lowers the heart in the same instant, like a gentle tide that turns both shore and shell. They breathe together, in, out, sweet, soft, silver, quiet. The eldest touches the rim of the pan and closes her eyes. "Let sweetness," she murmurs, "remember the hungry and bless them. Let warmth remember the cold and bless them. Let this small feast bless what is small in us, what is quiet in us, what asks for nothing but rest." The words reach the rind and sink into it like water into moss. The pumpkin smells a little more like comfort. The night answers with a soft yes that grazes the threshold and goes on across the field. They share the candied acorns in a simple round. One to you, one to me, one to you. The circle learns their names and divides blessing with utter fairness. No counting, no keeping. The moss counts for them, the lanterns keep. When a fairy pauses, the round pauses with her. When she breathes, the round breathes. When she smiles, the round warms. This is how harvests become gentle, even in memory. This is how a slumber party becomes a sanctuary. Sweetness makes them playful, but only the kind of play that asks nothing of breath and little of time. Someone balances an acorn cap on her nose and lets it fall into her palm with the smallest click. Another shapes sugar dust into a tiny spiral on the pumpkin floor, a moon snail, a galaxy, a soft path. A third arranges 3 caps in a clover and hums a single note until the caps tremble and come to stillness again. The laughter that follows is barely bigger than the hum. It is round, it is low, it does not wake the field. They tell tiny jokes to the fireflies, praise so soft it feels like sleep. "You are very good at gold," someone whispers. "You are very good at breathing." A firefly answers by dimming to almost nothing and then blooming to a little more. This is yes again. The lanterns blush. The bowl of warmed seeds, saved from earlier, is passed once more, not to eat, only to hold. Hands cup the bowl and take its quiet into the wrist, the elbow, the chest. Warmth from seeds meets sweetness from acorns, and together they ask muscles to lay down, bones to soften, minds to dream. The silver threads carry that request around the circle. The request becomes a tide. The tide becomes a blanket, smooth as silk, patient as moss. Outside, the pumpkins hum their low choir. The wind rehearses a soft motif. It will sing more fully later. The creek turns a corner and smooths its tone as if a hand were stroking it flat. The world prepares to lull. The world removes its shoes. The world draws near in quieter steps. Another leaf falls through the opening. It falls like a yes. It lands near the crescent of sugared moons and rests like a little ear, listening to nothing and finding peace. The youngest fairy tucks the leaf stem into the moss so it will not go traveling. She names the leaf Hush without sound. The leaf agrees. They bless what they love, but with few words. Bless the trees that made these. Someone breathes, palm over acorns. Bless the waters that made sweetness move, says another, finger damp with the last clear drop. Bless the hands that carried, the hands that wove, the hands that rest now, says the eldest, and the room bows without moving. There is space for one more laugh. It arrives in a curl, warm and sugar soft, when a fairy holds an empty cap to her ear and pretends to hear the ocean. She hears only the room. The room is enough. The room sounds like lantern breath, moss breath, moon breath. She nods as if waves had kissed ashore. The others nod with her. Every nod is a tide. They wipe their fingers on the moss with care, so no sweetness will trouble sleep. They set the leaf tray near the bowl of seeds and the sprig of rosemary, a little altar of harvest and rest. The altar glows modestly, proud of nothing, welcoming everything that is gentle. The lanterns dim a finger's width, learning their next rhythm. The fireflies pulse more slowly, as if measuring the distance between waking and dream. Now, the eldest whispers, witchy and sweet, as steam rising from tea. Let laughter become breath, and breath become quiet, and quiet become sleep. She does not command. She asks, and the room, which loves to grant kind requests, begins to answer. Shoulders sink, wings settle. Eyelids lower the way curtains do when a window has tasted enough moon. The moss has one last kindness. It releases a very faint coolness from far beneath, a memory of shaded stones and foggy dawns. The cool lifts to meet the lingering warmth from sugared shells and seed bowl. The two mix on the skin in a tender balance that tells the body, drift. The silver threads shiver once, a little river tremor, then goes still, carrying calm to every edge. Sweetness lingers on tongues, but only as an echo, not a call. No one craves more. No one counts what has passed. Enough has been said. Enough has been shared. Enough has been tasted. Enough is a spell that closes the pantry and opens the dream. They lean back upon their moss, not yet lying down, thawing into rest the way frost thaws under a patient sun. The leaf named Hush keeps listening. The altar keeps glimmering. The lanterns keep breathing. The pumpkins keep humming low. The moon keeps her silver hand over the chamber, palm down, blessing everything small and slow. Quiet laughter dissolves into smiles. Smiles dissolve into sighs. Sighs dissolve into steady breaths that match the lantern's gold. Gentle, soft, peaceful, dream, silver, quiet. The words repeat inwardly. A soft, round prayer with no edges and no hurry. They circle the room, touch each brow, float up to the rind, drift down again like a delicate snow that does not chill. And when the last sugared crescent has cooled to perfect stillness, and the last warm seed has given its comfort to warm hands, the room closes its gentle pantry and opens its softer book. The next chapter waits just beyond the threshold of hearing a lullaby. The wind has been practicing all evening. The fairies feel it ready itself, feel it turn its page, feel it enter like tide, and they do not resist. They only breathe, they only rest, they only glow. This is how sweetness becomes sleep. This is how small joy becomes long quiet. This is how a slumber party within a pumpkin becomes a temple of peace. The night leans in. The wind lifts its first silver line. The fairies, sugared and soothed, turn their faces toward the lullaby and let themselves be sung. The sweetness settles, the laughter fades. The leaf named Hush listens without moving. The lanterns breathe their small gold, and the moss holds its cool green. The silver threads lie still as moonlit rivers. Beyond the pumpkin mouth, the field gathers itself for song. This is the hour of wind. This is the hour of the lullaby that needs no voice. The first note arrives as a long exhale across stubble and vine. Not sharp, not strong. A breath the size of a meadow. It travels over the pumpkins with a soft hand, stroking the round backs, smoothing the rough stems. The vines lift a little and settle. The soil loosens a thought and then rests. The wind hums again, one tone lower, a patient answer to its own question. The night listens and nods. The fairies feel it before they hear it. Skin remembers open hills. Wings remember high passes and quiet cliffs. Shoulders ease, as if a knot has met a warm palm. The wind finds the threshold and pauses there, polite as a guest who loves the house. It does not rush in. It leans and learns the room. Amber rind, silver threads, gold-breathing light, green beds. It chooses the gentlest door through the opening and pours itself inside like clear water that has already known the shape of the bowl. It circles the chamber once, slow and soft. The lanterns dim a finger's width to greet it. The moss darkens a shade to drink it. The pumpkins in the patch answer with their low choir. a hum like sleepy bees under blankets. The wind takes their hum and folds it into its tone. Now the lullaby has two notes. Now the lullaby holds earth and air together. Scent rides the song, hay warmed by memory, a clean thread of river cold, the faint sweet of apple left on the tongue of the evening. There is a whisper of leaf dust, not harsh, not dry, only the feeling of a page turned and turned again until the story is soft. There is the smell of far barns, wood cured by years of quiet and rain. All of it arrives without wait. All of it settles without staying. The air glows, the chest loosens, the breath grows even. The eldest fairy closes her eyes and leans her head toward the opening, as if toward a singing bowl. The sound lays a silver line across her brow. She inhales, she exhales. The wind answers, matching her pace, lengthening her out-breath by a heartbeat, then another. The others follow without trying. In, out, long, low, gentle, soft, peaceful. The words become the rhythm becomes the room. The lullaby moves along the silver threads, testing their shine. The threads do not tremble. They receive and return, a tide that forgets nothing and disturbs no one. A breeze kisses the circle at brow height, a coolness that clears the window of thought. Another passes at the heart, warm and slow, like a hand tucked inside a hand. A third gathers near the feet and lifts away the last clinging dust of day. Head, heart, heel. The body learns the map. The body is grateful. Outside, grasses are writing lines in the dark. Long, short, long, rest. The creek, which had told stories all evening, chooses to hum in agreement, a sound like polished stones touching lightly underwater. An owl offers a punctuation mark that looks like a crescent and sounds like yes. The hedges do not rustle, they sigh. Everything keeps time with everything else. The field breathes like a sleeping animal. The sky breathes like a sleeping sea. The wind tries on a new register and finds a sweet middle, not high, not low, a kind center that carries through vine, through rind, through moss, through wing, through the quiet behind the eyes. It stays there. It repeats. It warms the vowels of the night. The lanterns catch the pattern and make a gold echo. Breathe, glow, breathe, glow. The echo guides the eyelids down, and when they lift a little slower. A thin cloud crosses the moon and softens her silver for a few breaths. The lullaby thickens, as if the room has pulled a blanket to the chin. The fairies sink by a finger's width into their moss, not down, not away, just enough to learn the deeper layer of green, the layer that kept rain, that held fog, that wore dew like jewels and gave them back at dawn, the layer that whispers only one thing, rest. A stray gust arrives from the hedgerow and tries to remember its old tricks. It thinks about rattling. It remembers how to chase leaves, but it glances at the lantern's breathing and listens to the slow creak and forgets the hurry it carried. It lays down its speed at the threshold like a coat and enters in linen. It becomes a softer self. It becomes a quiet brush, tracing the ribs of the pumpkin with a respectful finger. The rind purrs. The ribs sing under the touch. Woodwind secrets. Gourd cat hush. The chamber smiles. The fairies' thoughts loosen until they no longer wear shoes. They walk barefoot among their own memories and find no thorns. The wind collects what is sharp and rounds it. The wind collects what is loud and quiets it. The wind collects what is heavy and turns it into drift, floating on itself. It is not a magician. It is a nurse. It is a caretaker. It is a friend who knows how to clear a window and leave no streak. The youngest turns slightly on her moss, so a wing catches the line of air that runs at brow height. The wing shines, then dims, then shines, as if learning how the lanterns breathe. She smiles without showing teeth. Her ribs count. 1, 2, slow, slow. A sugared taste lingers and fades, then leaves only warmth on the edges of thought. She does not reach for more. Enough is a spell. Enough is a gentle door left on the latch. She steps through the door without moving. The lullaby roams the chamber and finds small corners where day has hidden. A curve near a heel. A thought tucked under a shoulder blade. A name half said and stuck in the throat. It does not pull, it breathes. Each corner opens like a hand uncurling in sleep. Each tucked thing sighs and becomes larger than its name, larger than its worry, larger than its need. Then it dissolves, like mist that chose to be a cloud and then chose to be clear. The wind brushes the altar of seeds and rosemary and leaf tray. The sprig releases a clean note, green and bright. It rings once and is gone. The seeds give back a warmth that is almost a flavor, almost a memory, almost a wish. The leaf tray makes a tiny chime the human ear would miss. The wind hears and smiles. The smile becomes a warmth on every cheek. The warmth becomes a silver at the corners of every eyelid. Another cloud crosses. The moon takes one step deeper into cotton and emerges slow, polished, patient. The wind adjusts. Its song becomes a round, a simple braid field note, creek note, pumpkin note, woven and woven until even the weaving rests. The fairies' chests do not rise fully anymore. They hover near stillness and find that stillness moves like a tide, subtle and sure. In, out, shore, sea, silver, quiet. A moth wanders in, circles the lanterns, learns their calm, and forgets to flutter hard. It drifts in circles that have no corners, that have no end. The wind catches it under the wing and sets it down on the moss like a petal. The moth knows it is safe. The moth sleeps with its eyes like small closed books. The fairies sleep with their eyes open a little longer than the moth. Not much longer. The lullaby changes key again, the way water changes color without changing itself. Now the tone is gentler. Now it carries a distance that feels near. Far hills, far orchards, far roofs where someone is also resting, also breathing, also learning the shape of enough. The wind links these distances to the small round room, making the world smaller without making it tight. The fairies feel the patch shrink to a soft bowl, the bowl shrink to a warm hand, the hand shrink to a kiss on the brow. Safe, safe, safe. It is not silence that follows. It is a sound so kind that the ear rests on it like a head on a pillow, a low vowel, a soft consonant, a lull of lull. The wind speaks the oldest word it knows, sleep, in a language that touches leaf and water alike. The fairies do not translate. They do not need to. Their bodies answer in the only grammar that matters now. They answer with surrender. A final tug of day tries to rise. The wind meets it. The wind does not argue. The wind shows it a bed and smooths the coverlet. The tug lies down. The tug becomes breath. The breath becomes the lantern's gold. The gold becomes the moon's silver. Everything is a circle. Everything is a ring. Everything is a gentle wheel rolling toward dream. The eldest opens her eyes just enough to see the threads glowing at the edge of gone. She lifts a finger, a blessing without words, and traces a slow figure 8 in the air, the sign she made before, the path between what has been and what now is. The wind follows the path, pleased, and writes its song along the same curve. Infinity rests, time rests. The room rests within the sign like a pearl in a shell. The lullaby gathers its last verses, over field, over fence, over path, over stone, over creek, over moss, over wing, over brow. It lays each one down like a soft shawl upon a sleeping shoulder. Then it leaves only the refrain gentle, soft, peaceful, dream, silver, quiet. And even the refrain thins until it is only breath. And even breath thins until it is only light. And even light thins until it is only ease. The wind does not stop. It keeps a slow patrol. The kind a parent keeps beside a cradle, the kind a tide keeps at a moonlit pier. It watches so that nothing needs to watch. It listens so that nothing needs to listen. It sings so that no one must think. The fairies sink another finger's width and float at that depth, held by green, held by gold, held by silver, held by air. Outside, the field becomes smaller than a room. Inside, the room becomes larger than a field. The boundaries are soothed to transparency. The lullaby is everywhere, and nowhere needs to be named. The lanterns breathe, the moss breathes, the moon breathes, the fairies breathe. The wind keeps time with all of it, and then lets time fall asleep as well. This is the hour when the world is soft all the way through. This is the hour when quiet lies down inside quiet and dreams of deeper quiet still. The lullaby has done its work. The lullaby goes on doing it. The pumpkin glows as if holding a small, steady dawn. The wind keeps a hand on the glow and hums. And with the wind's soft lullaby printed across their ribs and written behind their eyes, the fairies finally let go of the shore. They float, they drift, they are carried, gentle, soft, peaceful, dream, silver, quiet. The words become sleep, and sleep becomes the next door, and the door opens into gold that breathes, and night that listens, into the deeper tender where fireflies count the dark and call it kind. The wind's lullaby settles like a shawl. The field lies smooth. The creek hums a low silver thread. Inside the pumpkin's round and tender heart, the lanterns keep their soft work, small suns cupped in cobweb cradles. The fireflies within them breathe their mild gold dim, then bloom dim, then bloom like tiny hearts at perfect rest. This is the hour of pulse. This is the hour of breathing light. The fairies are almost asleep, so near that wakefulness loosens its lace and lets the edges fall. Wings lie quiet, hands lie open. The moss holds each body as water holds a leaf. The silver threads around the circle carry the breath from bed to bed in a gentle tide. One slow rise, one slow fall, then stillness that is not empty but full of hush. In that hush, the fireflies measure time the way dreams do, by glow, by quiet, by glow again. Each lantern speaks without sound. It tells the skin, the mind, the places behind the eyes, softer now, smaller now, safer now. The gold is not bright, it is kind. It does not command, it invites. It does not call you outward, it guides you inward, to the place where sleep has already built a small house and opened the door. The fairies cross the threshold without moving. Breath goes in, breath goes out. Glow follows, glow returns. A circle within a circle, turning the night to silk. Shadows lengthen in a way that does not darken. They pour themselves along the pumpkin ribs and pool at the moss edges like quiet cats. Where shadow meets gold, a silver seam appears thin as a whispered name, sure as a promise. The seams stitch the chamber together until it is not room and light and sleepers, but one whole thing held in the moon's palm like a polished stone. A firefly near the highest rib takes a long, slow dim, a long, slow bloom. Another on the opposite side learns the same pace. Between them, a soft rhythm forms left, right, right. Two gentle oars, pulling the room farther into still water. The eldest fairy's breath aligns with that oaring light. So does the smallest. So does the shy river dreamer. The moss becomes a lake that does not ripple. The lake becomes a sky that does not question. The sky becomes a warm, round hush. Outside, the wind smooths the patch in wide strokes. Pumpkins hum, a choir of low golden bowls. The hedges keep their counsel. The owls make their notes small as commas and set them aside. The world agrees to say less. The world agrees to be more quiet than any thought that might rise. The lanterns answer the world with their slow pulse, and the slow pulse enters the fairies' wrists, their ankles, their throats, their lips, until every part that could ask for effort forgets how. The leaf named Hush listens with its whole brown ear. It hears the fireflies breathe and decides to breathe with them. It lifts a corner, a fraction, as if nodding to the lantern nearest it. The lantern gives back a tender gold, a tiny green moth resting on the rim of a basket, trembles once and is still. Even the dew, threaded from bed to bed, seems to glow from within, as if moonlight is remembering a childhood spent in morning grass. The silver threads whisper the smallest instruction: remain. The moss adds the second: soften. The lanterns carry the third: drift. Remain. Soften. Drift. The words repeat, then dissolve into rhythm. The rhythm dissolves into warmth. The warmth dissolves into sleepiness so sweet it almost tastes like the last sugared breath of an acorn shell. gentle, soft, peaceful, dream, silver, quiet. The room knows the litany and hums it back, gold in, gold out, until counting becomes unnecessary and peace becomes a habit deeper than counting. One firefly lifts from its cradle. It does not fly far. It floats a hand's width above the moss, a tiny moon unmoored. It draws a small circle in the air, then a smaller one, then smaller still. The way a pebble draws rings upon a pond, the circles land on a sleeping cheek and vanish into calm. The cheek warms a whisper. The firefly returns, pleased, to its cradle, and settles with a mild click of basket and wing. A second firefly tries a path along a silver thread. It walks it like a soft tightrope, pausing each few steps to dim and then to bloom. The thread accepts this pilgrimage, carries the glow, and returns it to the next bed, where it becomes a dream of candlelight seen through lace, a dream of winter window panes fogged by laughter, a dream of quiet kitchens where late tea waits and no voice needs to rise above a murmur. The sleeper turns the width of a breath and knows none of it and receives all of it. The lanterns lower themselves half a sigh, as if remembering that the deepest rest prefers the darkest gentle. Not dark, only darker than. The pumpkin's inner walls, dyed amber by years of light, answer with their own stored glow. It is the color of honey held to a window. It is the color of old varnish on a violin, sleeping in its case. It needs no maintenance. It is simply there. The fairies receive it the way roots receive rain in dreams. Shadows gather under wings and pillows. They are trustworthy shadows, made not of fear, but of fullness. They cradle the curve of a shoulder, hold the bend of a knee, lie down under a palm like a friendly cat, where a shadow might seem deep. A seam of silver runs through it, quiet as a vein, true as a path, reminding the dark that it belongs to light, and the light that it belongs to rest. Nothing argues, nothing insists. The balance is so even that time forgets how to tick. The fireflies inside their baskets begin to breathe in one voice. The voice is not heard, it is felt. A tide felt in the wrists, a soft bell felt in the ribs. The voice says yes to everything gentle, to everything small. It says yes to unfinished things, yes to forgiven things, yes to things that never needed finishing or forgiving. The yes becomes gold. The gold becomes warm air. The warm air becomes a quilt so thin it weighs nothing, and so present it holds everything. A far cloud wanders over the moon and asks her to be softer still. She agrees. Silver thins to milk. The room's color tilts toward candle, toward wheat, toward the quiet light kept in late afternoon wood. The lanterns match. The moss sighs. The fairies slide another finger's width into the lake that is not water, into the sky that is not air, into the silence that is not empty. Sleep stands just beside them now, patient and shy, the way a kind friend waits at a door, ready to enter only when invited. The eldest opens one eye to be certain the youngest has found the center of her pillow. She has. A whisper of a smile, then no eye at all, only breath. The river dreamer's fingers, once folded like boats, relax into open leaves. The dew-worker's shoulders find a curve that feels like hillside and sink there, kept by green. The shy one whose laughter rings like a spoon against a cup exhales the last sugared note, and it lands on the altar with the rosemary and rests there, fragrant as gratitude. The fireflies, pleased with their work, settle into a slower pulse. Dim, nearly gone. Bloom, a little more than enough. The pause between grows long, then longer. In those pauses, the room becomes so quiet that the quiet itself seems to glow. The glow becomes a guide, and the guide leads toward a door of silk. The fairies pass through in pairs, then one by one, then in a gentle crowd, the size of breath. No pushing, no hurry, a procession of softness. Outside, the wind keeps its patrol, kind and slow. It checks the hedges, the fence, the creek, the stones. It returns to the mouth of the pumpkin and lays a palm there, a parent's touch, a tide's reassurance. Everything inside answers with a steady, easy warmth. Everything is accounted for. Everything is at peace. The wind nods and hums a bar the fireflies know by heart. They glow to it once and then rest. The leaf named Hush tilts to listen to a dream that has just begun. The dream is not a picture yet. It is a temperature, a color, a rhythm. It is wheat light and river cool at once. It is the taste of warm seed and the scent of clean night. It is the feeling you have when someone lifts a book from your hands and says, "I will read to you now," and your eyes close before the first word. The lanterns, guardians of this hour, make one last small adjustment. A basket is a finger's width too high lowered. A thread catches a glint, smoothed. A seam of silver has drifted, drawn back into its gentle line. The room answers by becoming rounder. If such a thing is possible for a pumpkin, it becomes so round that thought cannot find a corner to stand in, and must sit, must lean, must sleep. And the fireflies, tender, amber-bellied, kind, breathe on. Their pulse is the page turning of night. Their gold is the quiet candle of a chapel where sleep kneels and is blessed. Dim, bloom, dim, bloom. The words drift to nothing. The rhythm remains. Then even the rhythm is learned by the body and no longer needs to be taught. The lanterns become the faintest glow of hearth at 2 a.m. The hearth becomes the memory of a summer room in winter. Memory becomes warm silence. This is how the chamber passes from wakeful dreaming into dreamed waking. This is how the night deepens without darkening. This is how the fairies, cradled by moss and threaded by silver, set their hearts to the firefly's gentle metronome and let their minds unlace. The gold is enough. The shadows are enough. The moon is enough. The breath is enough. Enough is a door that closes softly and opens just as softly into sleep. One by one, the fireflies drift from pulse into rest, keeping only the smallest ember, a seed of light that will not trouble any eye. The ember is the promise that if a dream grows cold, warmth will return. If a thought strays toward the edge, softness will call it back. If night forgets itself, the smallest glow will remind it. Gentle, soft, peaceful, dream, silver, quiet. The room is a held bowl. The bowl is a quiet sky. The sky is a sleeping hymn. The hymn is gold within gold within gold, thinner and thinner until it is the sweetness of nothing pressing, nothing asking, only being and being allowed. The fairies drift at that depth, each on a small green island, each connected by silver tides, each kept by a gold so kind it scarcely needs to shine. Outside, the moon tilts her lantern and watches, pleased. Inside, the pumpkin holds its breath in the best way, steady, calm, sure. The fireflies dream of meadows without wind, of evenings that never need to end, of hands that know when to rest. They breathe once more, soft as silk brushed by silk, and then the gold becomes a warm memory on the skin of the night. Now the chamber belongs to sleep. Now the fairies travel nowhere and arrive everywhere that is gentle. The fireflies keep their tiny altars, embers tucked beneath wings, guardians of hush. And the slumber party, all sweetness and moss and silver and gold, moves forward without moving, deeper into the kind dark where even dreams speak softly and shadows bless the light. The room belongs to sleep. The lanterns keep only embers now gold folded into itself, warm as a whisper cupped in a palm. The moss is a green tide at perfect low, holding each body level, steady, soft. The silver threads are moonlit rivers, gone slow and deep, carrying nothing but ease. This is the hour of dreams. This is the hour when the pumpkin's hollowed heart fills with quiet stars. The first dreams arrive like moths, no weight, no sound, only the gentlest brush of wing. They do not push through the door. The door opens, and the dreams are already inside. The fairies drift, each on a green island, each linked by silver currents, each breathing to the faint measure of embers. The fireflies, little keepers of hush, sleep with their light tucked under wing. The wind makes a cradle of the field and rocks the whole patch, once, twice, slowly, and the rocking becomes the room's one thought. A dream of water comes to the river dreamer first, but it is not a river with banks. It is a silver road without edges. She floats upon it like a leaf, and the road carries her nowhere and everywhere, a soft thread through warm night. Beneath the water, stars turn like seeds in a bowl. Above the water, stars turn like seeds in a bowl. The sky and the stream agree on their silver. The dream says, rest. The dream says, drift. The dream says, be small, be safe, be carried. She breathes, and the road breathes back. Another dream blooms for the youngest wildflowers opening in moonlight, not white, but silver, not scent, but memory of scent. They rise from a field that does not need soil, only quiet, and pattern themselves in a ring, a low crown, a simple halo around her. She turns her head in sleep, and the flowers turn too, so that their faces keep her face, so that their petals keep her breath. She does not walk among them. The flowers do the walking, closing a step, opening a step, never nearer than comfort, never farther than kindness. The dream says, beloved. The dream says, gentle. The dream says, stay. For the dew worker, a different softness, A garden at dawn, every leaf jeweled, every blade bearing one bright bead. The beads do not fall. They ride the curve of grass like patient pilgrims. She walks the paths without feet, a presence walking among presences. When she leans, the dew leans. When she sighs, the dew sighs. The dream teaches the body the weight of a drop, nearly nothing, and yet enough to carry the whole sky in a circle. She sleeps more deeply, as if sinking into a shallow lake that knows every edge of her and loves it. A dream of orchard light unfurls for the eldest, old and sweet as a story told by hands. Trees stand far enough apart to give each other air, and fruit ripens without hurry, pear gold and apple russet, their skins holding moons within. She moves among them as bees used to move when the world spoke low, unafraid, unhazardous, soft. She presses a cheek to a pear and feels it answer with summer saved for winter. She lifts an apple and hears its quiet seed bell ring once a yes that needs nothing. The dream says, enough. The dream says, plenty. The dream says, keep only the gentle. The pumpkin listens to their sleeping. Inside its amber ribs, the chamber is a warm chapel, round and true, with moss for prayer books and silver for scripture. The dreams rise and fold, as if the room itself were breathing them. Not separate, not one something kinder, something braided. A dream moves from one moss island to another like a cloud unrolling its edge. When the youngest tastes a flower's cool scent, the river dreamer feels a soft ring open on her water. When the dew worker leans to greet a bead, the eldest hears the apple seed bell again, far and kind. Dreams pass through the silver threads, as if the moon were telling one story with many voices. Outside, the night protects. The wind keeps its slow patrol along hedge and fence and creek. The owls write a margin note now and then, never a warning, only a word like hush, like yes, like safe. Pumpkins hum their low choir, a sound like bowls speaking warmth to each other. The field is a quilt stitched in long, calm lines. Time forgets its numbers and keeps only rhythm. Another dream arrives, as soft as fog over fields, a sea made of wheat light, a tide of gold without wave, rolling the length of a summer afternoon. The fairies rest on its surface like dandelion seeds that decided not to fly. The sea carries them without distance. Sun and moon stand near each other as if conferring. The sea says, easy. The sea says, ease. The sea says nothing, and the nothing is a blessing. From the altar rosemary, warm seeds, sugared caps, rises a faint, tender echo of flavor. Not sweet, not sharp, only memory of sweet, memory of warm. It becomes a dream of kitchens that never smoked, of kettles that never boiled loud, of cups that waited with open mouths and never had to call. Hands lift nothing and feel weight lifted in return. The fairies sigh in their sleep, and the pumpkin sighs with them, a deep contentment like earth after rain. Shadows gather at the ceiling of the chamber and become constellations made of nothing but darker gold. They are not wolves, not teeth, not nights without moons. They are vessels, boats, leaves, nests, shapes safe enough to cradle a thought. A dream climbs into one, a nest lined with threads of silver and the soft fur of milkweed. The dream lies down and is covered by the warm wing of a star. Better than dark, brighter than light, the space between where kindness lives. One fairy dreams a path made of mirrored dewdrops. She steps and does not step. The drop becomes a bead of music each time her foot touches it. The song is a thin silver ladder that climbs nowhere and fills the heart. She ascends into not sky and finds the same moss waiting, the same lantern breath, the same round hush. The dream teaches her that here and there can be the same place when the heart is slow. Another dreams the moon's handwriting. It appears on the rind curves and curls, soft letters that look like rivers seen from a great gentleness. The letters do not spell, they soothe. They run beneath her palm like warm milk, like low light, like a lullaby written with a brush made of owl feather. She reads by touch and finds words she has always known. Gentle, soft, peaceful, dream, silver, quiet. Each word unwraps into a petal and rests on her chest until she feels crowned by night. The silver threads hum. They are awake enough to work, asleep enough to dream. They remember dawn when they were dew, and the world wore pearls on every blade. They remember hands that lifted blankets of moss without tearing. They remember the small circle of blessing drawn earlier, and though it has evaporated into air, the cool remains, kept in memory like a secret spring. They carry that cool to each bed's brow, to each bed's heart, to each bed's heel. Head, heart, heel. The body becomes a gentle bell and sleeps on its own chime. For a time, the dreams lean toward waterbrook, rain on eaves, lake at first light. Then they lean toward leaf, then toward seed, then toward star. Nothing hurries. Nothing repeats in a way that would wake. The sequence is not a chain. It is a wreath, circles within circles, petals within petals. The pumpkin is the center. The fairies are the petals. The night is the stem that keeps them, and the moon is the hand that holds the vase still. A leaf loosens at the mouth of the pumpkin and glides inward, a soft boat on an unmoving stream. It settles near the leaf named Hush, and they lean, one listening to the other, brown ear to brown ear. If they speak, it is in the language of settled things. I am here, you are here, we are held. Rest, rest, rest. In the far field, frost begins the first faint thought of itself. Not a bite, not even a breath, a clarity, a brightness added to edges. The wind notes it and hums a warmer bar by the pumpkin door. The chamber receives the bar and thickens its hush by one invisible layer. Dreams do not need thicker blankets. They need thicker quiet. The quiet is provided. The dreams ease deeper. Now the pumpkin's heart dreams too. It dreams of seeds, their clean sleeping light. It dreams of vines, their slow letters across soil. It dreams of the hands that turned earth and placed it here, gentle, soft, peaceful, hoping. The pumpkin remembers the sun as a mother remembers a lullaby, and offers that memory to the sleepers as a gold that never burns. The sleepers accept without waking. Acceptance is a dream too. The fireflies turn in their baskets and show a sliver of amber and hide it again. as if turning the page of a book for someone learning rest. One letter at a time, the pages are warm. The pages make no sound. The story has no villain, only seasons. The story has no ending, only blessings. One more dream arrives, wide and simple as a meadow. A sky of low stars, a path of pale dust, a bowl of clear water set upon a flat stone. The fairies come one by one to the bowl without feet, without faces, only the tenderness of presence, and see themselves not as selves, but as weather, soft wind, soft rain, soft light, and the bowl loves that weather. The bowl reflects the gentle and keeps it gladly. When the dream passes, a small, cool remains on the sleeping lips, as if night had kissed them. The room deepens. The moss grows quieter still, if such a thing is possible. The silver threads relax until they are only memory, and memory until it is only warmth, and warmth until it is only yes. The wind moves once more along the ribs, a parent drawing a blanket edge to the chin. The owls sign their names on the last line of the night's slow letter. The hedges are brooches pinned to a dark velvet cloak. The dreams, having gathered to fullness, begin to float together into a single soft lake. No borders, no banks. Every fairy rests upon that lake and does not sink. The lake is the hollowed heart of the pumpkin, round and calm. The lake is the world's hollowed heart, round and calm. The lake is the heart within each sleeper, round and calm. No difference, no distance, only peace. Gentle, soft, peaceful. Dream, silver, quiet. These words do not speak themselves. They breathe themselves. They rise and fall with the lantern's embers, with the moss tide, with the wind's patrol. And when each word has breathed once more, it does not vanish. It dissolves into the sleeping skin, the sleeping wings, the sleeping room, until the whole night is one long breath, the breath of a world content. The hollowed heart holds. The sleepers float. The dreams keep their gates open and their roads short. Morning is somewhere far and kind, turning in its bed, waiting for its cue. Not yet, says the pumpkin's warm gold. Not yet, says the silver thread. Not yet, says the wind, soft as milk. Rest, rest, rest. And the fairies, rocked in the round sanctuary, drift deeper, then deeper still, into a quiet that glows, into a silver that warms, into a dream that is nothing but being gently, softly, peacefully here. Night loosens its braid, not quickly, not loud, one silver hair at a time. The pumpkin's chamber holds a warm hush, a low golden ember. Embers breathe once, then once more, and then become a soft memory of fire. The moss is steady. The silver threads lie quiet, deep as streams under ice. The fairies float within their sleep, the way a leaf floats within a still pond that loves it. Far outside, something changes that is not a sound and not a color, only a gentling of dark. The wind notices first. It pauses its soft patrol and stands by the mouth of the pumpkin with a hand upon the silver seam, listening for the morning that is not yet spoken. The owls shift in the hedges and write their last small marks on the page of night. The creek hums lower, as if tucking in its stones before day finds them. The first pale light does not rise. It exhale, not S. A breath drawn from a distance, milk white, pearl faint, kind. It spreads along the horizon like cream poured into tea. It does not splash. It does not hurry. It finds the sleeping pumpkins and rounds them with a thin halo, a quiet rim like frost without cold. The field, still under its quilt of night, begins to glow from below, as if the earth itself remembered a candle it forgot to blow out. Inside the pumpkin, embers learn a softer lesson. They dim to almost nothing. The fireflies fold their small lamps and rest with their bellies at peace. The lantern baskets, cobweb cradles, grass handles keep their shape as dreams keep shape after waking. The gold they held lingers on the rind like a blessing that will not leave, even when it is no longer light, only warmth. The fairies sleep in their moss islands, threaded by the silver rivers that have grown so still they are the dream of a river. Wings lie open, loose as petals fallen into a bowl of water. Brows are smooth, hands unclasped. A leaf named Hush waits upright, a brown ear cupping the nearly silence. It hears the pale light arrive, the way a seashell hears the sea, without distance, without effort, simply because it is made for listening. The pale light touches the hedges. They answer by becoming less shadow and more green. It touches the fence. Wood breathes. It touches the creek. Silver lifts like a fish's soft back. It touches the mouth of the pumpkin, and the seam of silver laid there in the night shines once, then twice, as though smiling in its sleep. The light enters not as a guest, but as a memory returning home. Morning is gentle here. It has learned the tone of the lanterns, the slow rhythm of moss, the deep quiet of the pumpkin's ribs. It does not wake. It invites. It lays one pale palm upon the air, and the room sighs in, out, without opening its eyes. The fairies shift the width of a thought. A dream that was all water becomes all leaf. A dream that was all leaf becomes all star. Then both dissolve into breath. A firefly stirs, tests a little amber, decides against it, and tucks the light back into itself like a child, tucking its feet beneath a warm blanket. The basket trembles once, a spider thread ripple, then is still. The cobweb silk hums only with its own fine geometry. The dew thread between beds holds one bright pearl at the brow line, then lets it fall into the moss. The pearl does not wet, it blesses. The wind goes out to greet the pale light and returns with a faint taste of stone and new hay. It carries no chill. It carries the cool that lifts a brow and widens a breath without asking for effort. It moves along the circle head, heart, heel light as moth wing, clean as a bell rung far away and meant only for the ear that wishes to hear. The silver threads receive it and give it back. Moss accepts and becomes greener by a shade the eye cannot count. One fairy, the youngest, opens her eyes a little and sees not the room, not the vines, not the hedge, but the color between things. It is milk and pearl and early. She does not reach for it. It reaches for her. It lays a line of white along her closed lashes. It writes a soft script on her cheek. She reads none of it and understands all of it. Her breath answers with a lengthened exhale, the kind of letting go that returns twice as much as it releases. The eldest feels morning first in her hands, palms warm, fingers easy, a low tide sliding from the wrists. The orchard from her dream, pears and apples, seed bells and summer, becomes a single cool within the center of her chest. It is not a fruit, not a memory, not a wish. It is gratitude without words. It lives where breath lives and takes up no space. She smiles, but the smile is too soft to be seen, only felt by the moss under her temple. The dew worker's lungs are lakes at dawn, flat, silver, clear. A heron stands somewhere within them, calm, long-legged, patient. The bird does not fly, it exists. That is enough. Her shoulder loosens a knot, and the knot sinks through green to the quiet floor of the day, the way silt returns to riverbed when water becomes still. Her sleep deepens for a moment, and then rises again. Growth rings within the same hour. The river dreamer hears the first lark before the lark sings. She hears the intention. A round warmth collects in the field like a bowl hiding slightly under the grass. The note will pour there soon. The note will lift. The note will spill. Not now. The patience of that not now eases her brow more surely than any hand could. She remains asleep and is, somehow, more awake than waking. At the altar, rosemary holds its shape. Seed bowls keep their mute amber. Sugared caps, little crowns, reflect the pale light with modest pride, as if each had performed a small night duty with care, and now waited for the day's nod. The day nods. A thread of scent rises green, warm, sweet, and fades before the mind can name it, leaving only a clean line where naming would have been. The pale light crosses the threshold and discovers the lantern's last ember. It bends, curious and kind, and warms its own face there. The ember glows once, blushing, and the light lays a fingertip upon it, the way a parent touches a sleeping brow, confirming ease. The ember will rest now. The ember is not needed. The light will take the watch. Outside, Frost forms a thought at the far end of the meadow, and then thinks better of it. The wind hums a mild bar to keep edges round and morning low. Birds turn on their perches and do not yet sing. The hedges hold a dew that has not yet decided to fall. The creek lifts a silver thread and lays it back down where it found it. Time, which dozed beside the pumpkin door all night, opens one eye and smiles. The fairies drift upward from the deep lake of sleep to a gentle, shallow bay, not to shore, not to standing, only to a depth where breath meets morning in equal kindness. The moss answers with a subtle buoyancy, as if to say, "No need to move. I will bring you to the light." Wings, those quiet leaves, catch a pearl and return it to the air, catching nothing, returning everything. The silver threads brighten along the brow line, then soften. They brighten along the heart line, then soften. They brighten along the heel line, then soften. Head, heart, heel. A bell rung 3 times in a chapel without stone, within a gourd quiet room, beneath a moon that is becoming day. The sound is not sound. It is the feeling of being remembered by morning. It is the feeling of being included in dawn. Somewhere near the hedgerow, A finch tests a single note and lets it go like a child, releasing a kite that will not fly yet, but looks beautiful against the pale. No one minds the attempt. The attempt is part of mourning. The note falls a little and becomes a droplet, and the droplet becomes a pearl upon a blade of grass that bows politely and then stands tall again. The fairies do not speak. Their bodies speak longer exhales, softer throats, shoulders that rise a little when coolness touches the rim of the pumpkin's mouth. The leaf named Hush leans against the altar and agrees to a new duty for day, listening to small sounds, not to silence, listening to the difference between pale and bright, listening to the hour when the world decides to be awake, but also decides to be kind. The first true ray of dawn touches the field. Not a spear, not a blade, a brush, a painter's first shy stroke across a dark canvas that has already learned the shapes beneath it. Color answers, but not as color, only as the promise of color. Orange buried in brown, green hidden in gray, blue sleeping within silver. The room catches that promise and lays it on every brow like a garland woven of unblossomed flowers. The wind returns from its errand and places a bowl of daybreak by the door. The bowl is empty and full at once. It holds cool, and the cool holds quiet, and the quiet holds light. The fairies sip without sipping. The bowl becomes their lungs for a breath or two, then becomes the room, then becomes the field, then becomes the world, then becomes small again, and sits by the door, patient as a dog. A firefly turns in its sleep and shows one thread of gold, the thinnest seam, then tucks it away in a satisfied murmur that is not a sound. The cobweb handle gleams. The basket does nothing more than be a basket. This is surface enough for morning, to remain, to be ready, to be simple and true. The fairies remain. They are ready. They are simple and true. The pale light enters the pumpkin fully and does not wake anyone. It keeps its feet soft. It bows to every bed. It places a fingertip of brightness upon each silver thread, as if counting gently. 1 and 1 and 1. It lingers above the altar, above the rosemary, above the seed bowls, above the sugared caps, and shows them to themselves. They shine like memories that will be kind to remember. At last, after long patience, after careful quiet, the fairies stir the width of morning's smile. Not yet words, not yet eyes, only the loosening of sleep's hand from the wrist, the way a friend releases a friend without letting go of friendship. Breath changes, a little more day within it, a little less night. The moss makes room for waking but does not rush the guest. The pumpkin's ribs keep the air smooth. Beyond the hedges, the lark lifts its note, not high, not piercing, only clear. The note steps into the pail and stands there, pleased with itself for existing. Another joins, and together they write the first line of the dawn's gentle hymn. The creek provides a low octave. The fence offers a dry whisper. The field contributes warmth. The wind turns the page. The fairies float in that music. Their dreams grow thin as silk held to light, then become the light that shines through the silk, then become the hand that holds it. No loss, only change, no end, only turning. The room has learned the shape of blessing and keeps it now with morning's help. The first pale light is fully here, not noon, not blaze. The promise of day kept in a quiet voice. The fireflies sleep, the lanterns rest. The silver threads still hum, their slow, low hum. The moss breathes green. The pumpkin glows like a candle whose flame is thought, not fire. The world is awake enough to be kind and sleepy enough to remain soft. A sigh travels the circle one breath, then another like a wave that prefers lake to ocean. Wings adjust, palms turn inward, brows uncrease even more, which seemed impossible and is not. No one hurries to rise. The slumber party is not over. Dawn has come as a companion, not a dismissal. It waits with them, silver and patient, until blessing can be spoken. Soon, the fairies will open their eyes. Soon they will sit with the pale light in their laps, like a small animal, warm and polite. Soon they will give thanks for moss, for silver, for wind, for gold that breathed, and seeds that warmed, and stories that healed without ache, for a night that kept them, and a morning that will return them kindly to the world. But not yet. One more breath, one more soft minute where sleep and day share a pillow. One more gentle hush while the field writes the word welcome in milk-white letters along the eastern hem. The leaf named Hush hears it and nods. The pumpkin listens and purrs. The wind smiles at the door, and the first pale light of dawn, having found the chamber ready, and the hearts within it even readier, settles its calm upon every brow and waits quiet, silver, peaceful for the blessing to begin. Morning holds its breath at the door, pale, patient, pearly. Inside the pumpkin's round heart, the hush remains whole. Embers have become warmth. Warmth has become memory. The moss is steady. The silver threads hum low and kind. The fairies hover on the shore between sleep and day, floated there by breath alone. This is the hour of blessing. This is the hour of soft words that touch like light. The eldest opens her eyes first, not wide, only enough to greet the pale. She does not sit up. She lets the moss keep her. She places her palm above her heart and listens to the slow bell inside. One, and one, and one. She smiles, the smallest curve, and the room receives it the way a leaf receives dew quietly, gratefully, without need for more. Let us give thanks, she whispers, witchy and sweet, voice low as fog. The words carry no weight. They drift like milk on tea. They settle without stirring anything that wants to rest. For gold that breathed, for silver that listened, for moss that held, for wind that sang, for seeds that warmed, for stories that healed like rain, the fairies answer with breath. In, out, a soft chorus the room already knew. No one speaks quickly, no one rises. Gratitude does not require standing. Gratitude can be gentle. Gratitude can lie down. They turn their faces toward the lantern cradles. The fireflies sleep with their light tucked under wing. Cobweb loops hang like parentheses around silence. Bless these, murmurs the eldest, for their small and faithful glow. The lanterns answer by doing nothing, which is the perfect answer when rest is the prayer. Next, the moss. The fairies slide their fingers through the green, as if combing a child's hair. No pulling, no hurry. Bless this softness, they whisper, that gave our bodies back to ease. The moss sighs a coolness, a forest memory, a quiet welling of shade, and the sigh travels through silver to every bed in turn. Head, heart, heel, a circle within a circle, held and whole. They bless the silver threads, not with knot or charm, only with noticing. You carried breath, they say. You carried quiet. You became a river where comfort flowed. A faint gleam answers, then dims, content to be only thread again. The simplest things are happiest when allowed to be simple. The altar waits at the circle's center, rosemary sprig, seed bowl, leaf tray with sugared crowns. No feast remains, only kindness. The eldest raises a finger, traces a figure 8 above the 3, and hums a low note that warms the room by a thought. Bless the hands that gathered. Bless the hands that gave. Bless the hands that will gather and give again. Her finger stills. The note completes itself. The altar glows in memory alone, which is often the brightest glow. Outside the door, the wind rests a palm upon the threshold and listens. The hedges hold their dew like a string of pearls, not yet worn. The creek smooths a single stone and waits. The field is ready for color. The pumpkins hum their low consent. Day is near, day is kind, but the blessing is not finished. The blessing must be said for those within and those beyond. The eldest turns her face toward the door and lifts her voice, not louder, only clearer. Bless the patch, she says. Bless the leaf and the vine, the stem and the rind, the seed and the soil. Bless the hands that will walk here and the feet that will never come. Bless the creatures that pass without wanting, and the ones who pause and want only peace. The youngest, still cradled by her crescent pillow of moss, adds a line no longer than a breath. Bless the ones who listen. The leaf named Hush tilts as if nodding in agreement. The basket rims glint. Somewhere, a moth turns in sleep and drifts back down. They do not hurry, because blessing is a river, and rivers do not run faster when hearts are slow. They speak for the far fields, the old orchard, with names inside its blossoms, the greenhouse that wrote second chances in steam, the courtyard bench that kept warmth, the poppies that returned like red halos each June. They speak for the well behind the lilac hedge, for the shy gardener, for the cat who carried peace like a warm stone. Each memory walks past like a friend and receives a touch on the shoulder. Each friend continues on, gentler for the touch. The eldest closes her eyes again. Bless the sleepers who do not know us, she whispers. Bless the weary who cannot find this room. Bless the hearts that carry too much noise. Bless the minds that cannot lay their bundles down. Send them wind that sings low. Send them moss for their bones. Send them a little gold that breathes, and a silver thread to lead them to soft ground. The blessing flows out through the door. It does not need a road. It knows how to travel by scent, by echo, by the space between heartbeat and breath. Beyond the hedges, it climbs the fence and crosses the lane. It finds windows and lays itself upon the sill like warm milk. It finds pillows and softens one seam. It finds lonely rooms and becomes a friendly sound footsteps that do not come nearer, only pass and keep watch. Inside, the fairies remain still. The room is their cup. The blessing is their tea. They drink by breathing. They drink by not trying. The silver threads shiver once and are quiet. The moss takes the last of night's weight and lays it in the earth with a gardener's careful hands. The lanterns remember their pace and teach it to the new pale, dim, bloom, rest. A bird sings at last, not a lark's trumpet, not a chorus, only a clear bead set upon the morning's string. The note is white as cream, round as the pumpkin's heart. It does not pierce the hush. It completes it. The fairies smile. The smile belongs to everyone now. The bird, the field, the creek, the distant roofs, the sleepers unseen. Blessing is like that. It refuses to be kept. Now, says the eldest, though she does not rise. Now, the last words. Her tone is a velvet ribbon. It smooths the rim of the room and ties the hour into a keepsake. She lifts one hand, palm open to the pail, and the others follow, a meadow of small, quiet hands catching light. For all who come to the edge of night with heavy thoughts, she whispers, may the wind find you and sing you simple. For all whose ribs remember worry, may moss teach you how to lie down. For all whose eyes will not close, may a soft gold breathe on your lids until shadow feels like a friend. For all whose hearts chase themselves, may silver threads gather your pieces and carry them gently to a circle where nothing is missing. For all who fear the dark, may the dark be honeyed by a moon that knows your name. She pauses. The pumpkin purrs a low, round sound, like earth answering rain. And if morning finds you still within the night, she continues, may dawn arrive like this milk-white, pearl-faint, kind, not to pull you from your rest, but to rest with you, to keep the watch while you continue to dream. The blessing turns inward, then outward, like tide. It touches each brow in the circle. It lays a palm on each wing. It crosses the altar and lingers over rosemary, seed, and sugared crown, a triad of simple good. It climbs the ribs and writes a soft script only the rind can read. Then it passes through the door again and moves over the field, across the creek, into the hedges, over the fence, along the lane, to wherever a pillow waits without sleep and a chest waits for a slower bell. The fairies breathe once together, the kind of breath that settles birds on branches. The eldest lowers her hand. It is done, she says, and the room agrees, not by sound, but by becoming more itself rounder, warmer, truer. They do not leave at once. Departure can be gentle too. The youngest smooths her moss. Another adjusts a thread that had slipped from the light. A third straightens the leaf named Hush and tucks its stem a thumb width deeper so it will not wander. The altar is brushed with a fingertip, a silent thank you. The lanterns are counted in glances and blessed with a nod. Only then do the fairies unfold their wings by a thought and rise, not far, not fast, only enough to float within the amber bowl and see their night made, visible beds like small islands, threads like quiet rivers. embers like late stars. They circle once, twice, thrice. The old way, the kind way, the way that teaches the eyes to remember. Keep this, the eldest whispers to the room. Keep this, the room whispers back to her. The door is open. The morning is near. The blessing lingers like scent in a wool shawl. They glide to the mouth of the pumpkin. The wind greets them with its soft hand. It smells of hay and stone and the first thought of clover. The field is ready. The colors wait behind their curtains, polite, patient. The fairies step across the seam of silver and out into the pale. Their feet do not wake the ground. Their wings do not wake the hedge. Even their gratitude makes no noise. Before they climb the air, the eldest turns her face toward the house with its sleeping rooms, toward the lane and its uncounted windows, toward the listener who has come this far and is still awake or already drifting. Her voice is for you now, warm as seed, cool as dew, silver as dawn. May your night be gentle, she whispers. May your breath be soft. May your dreams be peaceful and bright with quiet stars. May you be kept by a circle of moss and a thread of silver. May wind sing low at your door. May gold breathe on your eyelids. May rest find you, hold you, keep you, until morning is kind and time is slow. Sleep deeply, sleep sweetly, sleep safe. The words settle on your brow like a leaf that knows your name. The field hums its low yes. The creek writes a soft line beneath the hedges. The pumpkins glow as if they remember everything and forgive it all. The fairies rise only a little, then a little more, then are silver among silver, small moons among pale. The room behind them keeps warm. The blessing keeps moving. Morning steps in, easy as tide, and the world begins to color. But your eyes, if they wish, may close now. The circle holds, the threads keep, the moss remembers, the lanterns wait with faithful gold, should darkness need a friend. Gentle, soft, peaceful, dream, silver, quiet. Sleep, dear one, sleep.